From this day on, Lady Lua's affectionate behaviour becomes commonplace, and rolling becomes her greeting.
We knew she recognized us and that she somehow started bonding with us. Otherwise she would not come and do it so often.
Sometimes, Herbert finds Lady near their camp at night when the crew sets out to film. She allows them to follow close behind her as she roams the plain. On one such night, Lady leads the crew to a pan where a wildebeest cow is straining through a difficult birth. The calf seems stuck in the birth canal, and the cow can no longer stand. It's over in seconds, an almost merciful end for the struggling mother. This is a big kill for Lady. It will feed her for days. The cow is silenced quickly, but its bleating during the birth may have been heard. Lady tries to drag the heavy pregnant carcass into the cover of taller grass. But it's too late. She's been discovered. Elated with the easy kill, Lady toys with the carcass like a kitten, oblivious to the threat that closes in around her. By the time she hears them, she is surrounded. Ominous calls lure her away from the kill once again. As she wades out to meet the challenge, the hyenas seize their opportunity. Coming in from all sides, the thieving horde makes off with the carcass and tears it apart in true hyena style. But Lady will not be defeated so easily. Unlike the calf, this kill is worth a fight. She may be alone, but she is still a large, fearsome lioness. It's 12 hyenas to 1, but despite their numbers, the hyenas cower. She eats alone on the carcass, as a dozen hungry eyes watch and wait in the shadows. Over the years of filming, Herbert came to learn that Lady's relationship with the hyenas changes with the seasons. By August, the grasslands are tinder dry and the pans parched and cracked. All life strains against the drought. The wildebeest herds head for greener pastures up north, leaving only a few tough bulls for prey. In these sparse times, every scrap counts. For many predators, scavenging becomes a necessary part of life. Lady will steal the hyena's kills as often as they steal hers. In the dry season, they are mortal enemies, and Lady fights for every carcass. But when the rains come in November, everything changes. Weeks of unrelenting downpours drench the landscape. Lured by the lush new vegetation, the wildebeest herds flood back onto the plains in a migration second only to the Serengeti. Calves are born by the hundreds, and prey abounds. Lady thrives in the wet season, killing so often that hunting becomes more a sport than a necessity. With so much prey, tensions between her and the hyenas diminish. Sometimes she'll calmly abandon a fresh kill, preferring to roll around Herbert's vehicle as her prize is pilfered. With so much to go around, it's hardly worth a fight. But by January, things change once again. The rains reach their climax, and the plain disappears underwater. Lure becomes largely inaccessible, and how Lady hunts in the flood is a mystery. Yet season overcomes the odds stacked against her.
With each year of filming here on the plains, I understood her behavior better and better. And I realized she's not only surviving, she's thriving. That there was one thing, though, she could not overcome, and that was her loneliness, her isolation. But it took me 3 years to understand how lonely she really was.
After a night of filming, Herbert and his crew return to camp. They are not alone. As Herbert walks through camp in the dark, he hears a movement in the trees.
I heard something, and then I looked and I saw something in the dark, and it was her. But I was not afraid. I knew somehow that she was not there to do us any harm, or that she did not come to hunt. That night somehow a bond was forged between us.
Since then, she's come into camp every other night. Most wild lion prides avoid contact with people, but it seems that Lady Lua's isolation drives her to seek human company.
We never fed her, and there was nothing for her to scavenge on. So there was no other reason for her to visit us other than for companionship. It is amazing to think that a completely wild animal that has been harassed and her pride been massacred by us trusts us and somehow makes that move. Just absolutely amazing. Sometimes she would lie next to the tent. I would fall asleep and listen to her purr. And the next morning I would wake up and she was still there. It was really amazing to experience this mutual trust with a completely wild predator that had only bad experience with human beings. She's obviously following me because she's looking for company. She's alone. As much as I care for Lady Lua, I know that I must keep my distance. She's a wild animal and we want to keep it that way. We cannot allow her to close the distance too much because that would invariably invite an accident, and that is the last thing we want to have.
Herbert doesn't allow Lady to come closer than about 5 meters, but she keeps trying to get his attention.
I knew something had to change when she started changing her behavior. She scratched the trees, she even destroyed the seat of the Land Cruiser, and I realized I could never be the mate she was looking for. She really needed a companion of her own kind.
At last, in October of 2008, this may just be possible. Herbert is not the only one who's been following Lady Lua's plight. Craig Reed of African Parks manages Lua Plain National Park, and for the last 2 years he's been hatching a plan to bring lions back to Lua.
One of the primary objectives of African Parks managing national parks in Africa is to rehabilitate the natural processes which have always taken place in the parks. Lions have always been a very important part of the processes here, and for that reason we felt it was very important to bring them back. I think Lady Lua has become a special character, and it's going to be fantastic for her to relinquish that character.